Grading every single AFL trade from the 2016 AFL trade period. Now, I've done this from 2022 all the way to 2017, so you can check those out on my channel. They should be out already. This time, 2016. Now, it's been so long. It's been fucking ages since this trade window, so some of these names I genuinely do not remember. But with these sorts of videos, we like to grade it based on what the team got. So if Richmond traded Dustin Martin to the Suns after a couple of years, so in this case, what, it's been 8 years or something, you look at how did it work out for the Suns. We don't care about what the Tigers got, we care about what the Suns get. First trade, we have got Cam McCarthy going to the Fremantle Football Club. Now, Cam McCarthy was a highly touted individual, being a young forward, a high draft pick. Fremantle got Cam McCarthy, pick 8, 32 and 72. And the Giants received pick number 3. So pick 3 for essentially, it's actually quite a lot. Like Fremantle get pick 8, 38, 70 Cam McCarthy for pick 3. I don't know about this one. Like, I'm going to give this a... he didn't do anything, Cam McCarthy, but in hindsight, not much was given up for him. Pick 2 and pick 8 alongside the other ones isn't crazy difference. I'm going to be giving that a C. Yeah, I feel like a C. Let's do that. Brad Hill. This is one of the many trades. This time, this trade was from Hawthorn to Fremantle. So not the Fremantle to St Kilda trade, Hawthorn to Fremantle. Now, Fremantle received Brad Hill from Hawthorn. Hawthorn got pick 25. He did play really well for the Fremantle Football Club, but since his left, but he did do a lot of damage there playing with his brother Stephen Hill. Pick 25 for Brad Hill at the time seemed right. I think Hawthorn probably win this trade, given that pick 25, it's really hard to tell. In terms of what Fremantle got, you got a good consistent player that did play for a while there, and for that reason, let's give that trade a C+. Let's give it a B. I feel like a B is pretty fair. Yes, pick 25, but well worth it. Big trade here for St Kilda. They got Jack Steele from the GWS Giants, only for a second round pick. A future second rounder for Jack Steele. St Kilda dub up on this. Easy A+. Probably one of the best trades in their recent history, St Kilda. They have a captain and a guy who has just, apart from the injuries, has been the perfect player for them. So easy A+ there. We have a funny trade here. Sam Mitchell, those who remember, obviously is known for his time at the Hawthorn Football Club as a player and as a coach as well. His last season was with the West Coast Eagles, where he went there in the end of 2016, obviously. West Coast received Sam Mitchell, pick 52 and pick 68. Hawthorn received pick 52, 65 and 74. Overall, it's probably pick 74 on average for Sam Mitchell. I guess they won because Mitchell's experience would be so good for the West Coast Eagles, and he's probably a big reason why they won the 2018 flag, because his experience as a flag winner, full-time flag winner for Hawthorn, that experience would have been so great for the West Coast, for the young West Coast players. So in terms of what West Coast received, they won the trade. Let's give that trade an A. All in all, I feel like it's pretty good. Tom Mitchell, father-son at Sydney, but it didn't work out. He went to the Hawthorn Football Club, where it did work out. He won a Brownlow there, which is pretty fucked. Now, Tom Mitchell went to Hawthorn, and Sydney received pick 16 and pick 52, which at the time might have seemed like a lot, but this guy was brilliant for Hawthorn. He didn't help them win anything, but 2018 he helped them make the top 4. Great trade for Hawthorn. Yes, he's left at Collingwood now, but it's still a fantastic trade. We're going to be giving that trade an A overall. I feel like it would be an A+ if he had stayed longer and there was less given up for him. Pick 16 and 52, it's a decent amount, especially pick 16, so that's why it's only an A. Geez, don't remember this one. North Melbourne got Paul Ahern from the GWS Giants at pick 64. I mean, I guess Paul Ahern played some footy there that didn't work out well. Another high draft pick, I believe, so quite unfortunate career there. It's a C, like pretty lackluster, pretty boring. There's some of those, there's always those trades in the trade periods where it's like you forget about a player because it was such a boring trade. A 3-way trade here between Gold Coast, Brisbane, Port Adelaide for a lot of picks, but the only player involved in this, it wasn't a pick, was Pierce Hanley. I believe Pierce Hanley went from Brisbane to Gold Coast. It's really confusing because Port Adelaide's involved in this trade as well, so I'm going to just choose this from isolation. Did he do well for Gold Coast? He played it right, but his time at Brisbane was much better. Probably, let's go with... I don't know, man. Probably a D+. Because I think I'm reading here that actually quite a bit was given up for him when you take into consideration the whole trade. Jordan Lewis went to Melbourne. Sam Mitchell left. Jordan Lewis left the Hawthorn Football Club as well. Long story short, it's probably Lewis pick 57 for a pick 47. So take your pick. What does that mean? Not much difference. Basically nothing. And he was good for Melbourne. Hawthorn, you could argue in this trade, but I thought he added some valuable experience to Melbourne as well. And I'm going to give the trade a B. Not much given up for him at all. And he did play a couple seasons there. Joel Hamlin went to the Fremantle Football Club after winning the flag for the Western Bulldogs. One of the rare trades you see these days, a flag winner leaving that club that very season. But this is one of them. And Joel Hamlin was a decent defender for the Fremantle, or the Western Bulldogs, sorry. But he he's nothing special. Joel Hamlin, pick 41 and pick 59 went to Fremantle. The Dogs received pick 38, pick 44 and pick 56. So all in all, average it out, probably pick 38 for Joel Hamlin, which is actually quite a lot in hindsight, but he has played good footy at Freo. He's now gone to Sydney. Let's give it a C+. Nothing more, nothing less. I feel like that just suits it. Michael Hibberd went from Essendon to Melbourne. Obviously, this had to do with the whole drug saga and stuff with Essendon. But yeah, Hibberd in pick 59 went for pick 31, pick 63. So effectively pick 31 for Michael Hibberd. Who wins? I feel like Essendon win this trade, given that pick 31 for Michael Hibberd's pretty good. But he was good for Melbourne. He was a very important player throughout all their time since he went there. So Melbourne got a good player, but they did give up pick 31, which is a decent sized pick. Probably a B, no high because a lot was given up for him. One of the trades that won Richmond the flag, one of the many trades in this offseason, was Dion Prestia going to the Richmond Football Club from Gold Coast. Dion Prestia and pick 26 went to Richmond. The Suns received pick 7 and a future second rounder. Average that out to pick 7. Who's winning? Richmond win. Now, Dion has helped win Richmond 3 flags. He's one of the best two-way runners. During that time period, as Dimmer said it, he was one of the best two-way running midfielders in the competition. Run forward, run back. Really good tank, really good player. Since then, he's died off because of the injuries, but this has to get at least an A. Not an A+, because pick 7 is a lot, but I mean, what a player for Richmond. That's sort of 6 seasons of helping us be one of the greatest teams in recent history. Another trade that helped Richmond was Toby Nankervis, who went from Sydney because he couldn't break into the team to Richmond for pick 45 for Nank. One of the biggest A+ I'll ever see in a trade period video that I do. I mean, pick 45 for a premiership ruckman, 3-time premiership ruckman, and a captain of the club. He's now captain. He's sole captain now. Last year was duet captaining, whatever it's called, dual captaincy with Dylan Grimes. Now is the sole captain. What more do you want? A+. If there's an A++, this is that. It's an easy A+. Jared Witts to Gold Coast. He went from Collingwood. Obviously, famously was there, but just couldn't quite break in there. So Gold Coast got Jared Witts to pick 44 and pick 57. Yeah, one of the rare wins for the Suns, which I'm surprised by. But this was a really good trade for them. Witts has been a captain, a great ruck. Yes, pick 44 and 57 is a little bit more than what, Richmond gave up, or Richmond got for Nank, but we're still going to give that trade an A. Not an A+, because I just feel like 2 rucks. Let's give A+ to the better trade, which was the Nank trade. Let's give this one an A. Nathan Rovat went from the Dogs to North Melbourne. Loads of different trades here. I guess North Melbourne, it's once again a boring trade. He was decent in 2017, so we'll give it a C+, but lackluster. Lackluster trade. North Melbourne love these lackluster trades. Shane Curson, I really like funny, sort of like Cam McCarthy. He was such a highly touted player. He went to Fremantle from Geelong for pick 59. Winner's probably Geelong because Curson didn't do much at Fremantle. So yeah, that trade gets a D. We'll give that, yeah, D sounds good. Yo. That's kind of mad. Don't take that out of context. One of the great trades for Geelong in this trade window as well. Big reason why they were so good after this. And even before, but they got Zack Tuohy, the Irishman, who has played, like 7-8 years of brilliant football at Geelong. He went to Geelong alongside a second round pick, and Carlton, because Tuohy came from Carlton, they received Billy Smets, pick 59, and a future first round pick. So I guess you could say quite a bit is given up for Zack Tuohy there, but with Billy Smets involved. Geelong, easy winners there. For the Zack Tuohy trade, we'll give that an A for Geelong, but then the Billy Smets trade, so for Carlton, who went to Carlton, that did not work, and we'll give that a E+. The third trade of Richmond's successful trade period here is Josh Caddy, who found his third club, going from Gold Coast to Geelong, and then this trade window, Geelong to Richmond. Richmond got pick 53 in Caddy, Geelong got 60 and 26, so effectively pick 26 to Josh Caddy. I think it's well worth it. Not the biggest trade, like win for either party here, but definitely a dub for Richmond, and we're grading this based on Richmond's perspective, because they got the player. Give it a B+. I think he only won the 1 flag for Richmond, but he did kick nearly 50 goals in 2018. He was great that season, which we didn't win the flag, but I think he couldn't break in for the other 2 seasons. So we'll just give it, I think, what did I say, B+? Jared Lyons went from Adelaide to Gold Coast, and then after he went from Gold Coast to Brisbane. But this trade window was the first trade of his, going to his second club, Gold Coast. Gold Coast probably win this trade, despite the fact that later on they gave Lyons up for nothing, which is stupid. So we give this trade a C+. Pick 71, Lyons went to Gold Coast. Adelaide got pick 44 and 62. Average it probably like a pick 40-ish. For Lions, who was good, C+, I don't know, probably that. Melbourne received Pat McKenna and a bunch of trades. Boring trade, C. Let's move on. Premiership hero Nathan Vardy. He originally played for Geelong, couldn't get his body right, goes to West Coast for pick 68, helps to win the flag. 3 seasons, nearly 50 games, and that premiership. Yeah, that's probably because of what he did in that flag season, 2018. Let's give that trade an A, honestly. Some really good ruck trades in this period, trade period. Trav Cloke didn't work out at Collingwood, so he goes to the Western Bulldogs for that 1 season, I believe. I guess he was alright. It was pick 76, so Basically nothing given up for him. Almost a free agent, you could argue. Yeah, probably a win by default for the Dogs. Let's give them a C+. Or this trade, sorry, a C+. James Stewart went to Essendon. GWS received pick 77. Stewart played a lot of games at Essendon, a frustrating player, but all in all, probably a B+, given pick 77 is the trade involved, which is almost nothing. Ahern and Black went to Geelong from North Melbourne, who got pick 92. Pick 92 is nothing. C, boring. Let's move on. Will HoskinElliott, good for GWS, amazing for Collingwood. What a player he is. He basically went for Collingwood for a second rounder. Not the worst trade for GWS, but definitely the one that got away. It's an A for Collingwood. Probably not an A+ because he hasn't lit the world alight, but he's been good. Jack Frost went from Collingwood to Brisbane for a load of picks. I guess it was alright for Brisbane. Kind of boring. Let's give this trade a C+. Lynden Dunn went from Collingwood. Bit of a Jeremy Howe lookalike trade, mirroring trade. Melbourne, who started at. Goes to Collingwood where he was actually alright. Like, he was actually good, but injuries got the better of him. Let's give the trade a B. I feel like this suits a B. Everyone loves Lynden Dunn. What a guy. Marley Williams went from Collingwood to North Melbourne for pick 105. 105. How the fuck are you trading over 100? North Melbourne win, probably a B+ because it's nothing. St Kilda received Kobe Stevens, pick 56 and a future 4th. The Dogs received pick 49 and a future 5th. Damn, boring trade. Let's give it an E+. No, let's give it a D. Just boring. And Kobe Stevens, the injuries got him, which is really sad. Caleb Marbank and Jared Pickett went from Carlton from GWS. Alongside a second rounder, GWS got pick 45, 58, and a future first round pick. So a lot going on there. I reckon for both those trades, let's give it a D+. I feel like that's a lot giving up for them. And Marbank and Pickett haven't lit the word alight at all. Reese Palmer went from GWS to Carlton for pick 135. I mean, this has got to be a joke. It has to be a joke. Pick 135. I'm not going to talk about this. It's probably a C. The most boring trade ever. No one wins. Everyone loses. Kind of a sad one for him and also for Richmond fans in a little bit of a sense. GWS got Brett Delidio, who was Richmond's star man. Not star man, but it was one of our great players. Richmond received a future first rounder and a future third rounder. Didn't work out for Delidio, who had struggled so much with calf problems, I believe was the main thing. It's probably an E. Not his fault, injury's fault. And Richmond, they gave us so much for him. Future first, future third. That's a lot. Fuck, there are a lot of trades in this. Jaeger O'Meara went from Gold Coast to Hawthorn in the first trade. He's now at Fremantle, but that was the first trade. He went there for pick 11, a future second rounder. I think Hawthorn, I'll get this trade a D+ because he left to Fremantle. He never lit the word alight. And pick 11 and pick a future second is a lot. So D+ I think is fair, but he wasn't awful. Like, he was good at Hawthorn, but doesn't warrant those picks. Not the most exciting trade period, fortunately. Most of the other ones are really good. A lot of pick 135, I think, was in there. Pick 105. Like, some crazy late picks, so not the most exciting draft video, but nonetheless it is there. Make sure you like, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Follow the TikTok FTFooty, and I'll be seeing you in another video.